am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. How's everybody doing? It's us again. It's Corinne and Daisy. We are here together. More prayers for Mock are needed because she's still with Thomas. It's kind of up and down. I know a lot of people are like, how's he doing? It's if you ask me, like, 6 hours ago, he may be doing differently than he is right now because it's been a very up and down roller coaster for her. So pray for him, pray for her. He's not out of the woods yet. So just, keep the prayers coming. And I know she appreciates that. And I do too. So thank you for those. And hopefully we will see her next week. That's kind of what we're planning on. This week has been kind of a tough week for her and for him. So thank you for your prayers. And thanks to Corinne for filling in. I really appreciate that. We're going to get started. We have lots of stuff to cover. We're going to get y'all informed and on your way today. So first things first, Chuck Grassley, he was out on X yesterday. Apparently the Biden FBI spied on Republican senators. We found that out. We have a tweet from him. I guess they call that an X. We'll show that to you guys. He said, this document shows that the FBI, the Biden FBI, spied on 8 of my Republican Senate colleagues during its Arctic Frost investigation into election conspiracy. Arctic Frost later became Jack Smith's elector case against Trump. So Biden FBI weaponization is worse than Watergate. This is what he said. Now, it wasn't just senators. Apparently, here's another tweet. Chris Wray and Jack Smith were all like wrapped up in this. It says, well, Chris Wray and Jack Smith belong in prison. The left has used the justice system to target its political enemies. No one was safe. Investigating Turning Point USA and tracking the phones of GOP senators. Until they are punished, the left will never stop. So I got to say how I feel about all this is I don't really care unless people go to jail. I just don't care.
They should go to jail. I think what's interesting is, to me, I look at that list of people, and I didn't run through everyone on the list, but most of those senators were up for re-election in 2022, or they were seeking a different office. Like, we know Marsha Blackburn was well known that she was going to run for governor of Tennessee.
Right.
Ron Johnson's up in 22. I think Holly was up in 22 as well.
Yep.
I feel like they were investigating them not to have anything to do with Trump's election interference, as they called it, but because they wanted to find something that would interrupt the elections of all these Republicans.
Yep.
So they put together this list, and they say it's because of one thing, but really they're looking for dirt that would have made it hard for them to seek office or re-election or a different office. And that is election interference. So,
totally.
So it's ironic.
Yeah, it's election interference, and it's also weaponization of these organizations
Absolutely.
within the government. The things that they always point fingers at us for are the things that they do. So it's really
all the libs crying about Jimmy Kimmel getting a note from the FCC. Like, where are those people crying about this? Because this is way worse.
Yeah, they totally love it because it's against us. So I really, really want to see some people go to jail. That's what I would like to see. I know 0 arrests, right? ZZXXYY saying 0 arrests. We need to see some arrests, and then maybe I'll feel good about this. But until I see that, I'm like, whatever. It's a nothing burger at this point. So anyways, we all in danger, girl. And that's why you need Readywise. Readywise is awesome, you guys. It's great for building your emergency stash because once you need it, it's too late. It's kind of like not having any batteries for, the flashlights or having any candles if the power goes out. You need to have a nice stockpile of water and food just in case. Readywise's emergency 72-hour food kits are bomb. They're exactly what you need to get. Balanced, freeze-dried meals with a shelf life of up to 25 years. Which is great. You just need a little bit of water for them so you can provide lots of food and nourishment, 2,000 calories a day, actually, for your family and yourself during emergencies. You can go to readywise.com for 10% off with code CHICKS10. They also have the 1-month food supply bundle for longer term needs, which is what we have. It's a really great option to put in like an emergency shelter. We have one of those. They're packed in durable, airtight containers. And again, it's 25-year shelf life. I like their gadgets too. They have lots of gadgets at Readywise. They have like backup solar generators and power solutions and first aid kits and lots of really cool stuff out there to keep you prepared. So, in case there's a government lockdown or a natural disaster or whatever happens, some sort of Fauci virus. So visit readywise.com, use code CHICKS10 for 10% off your order. That's readywise.com for 10% off. Use code CHICKS10. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Okay, so liberals are still fuming about Hegseth. Still, in case you were wondering what Tammy Duckworth thought from Illinois, let's check that out. I think we
I have to ask you about what the president announced yesterday in regard to federalizing 300 National Guardsmen out in the state of Illinois. We've heard this threat going back all the way to August. The governor says these are not needed. Do you have any idea when they'll arrive?
Well, I believe they're going to be Illinois National Guardsmen, so they're not going to be coming from out of state. I spoke with our governor yesterday, and it looks like it's going to be about 300 Illinois Guardsmen who will be activated against the governor's wishes. So they'll be homegrown Illinoisans, and they're our brothers and sisters, our neighbors. I probably served with quite a number of them, certainly the leadership, and they'll be home. We'll welcome them. It's a misuse of the National Guard. They're not needed in this particular role. If President Trump really wanted to fight crime, then maybe he should stop defunding the police. He diverted $800 million in crime prevention efforts away from that was appropriated away from funding for our police officers. So, they're not needed, but we're going to welcome them because they're our brothers and sisters, and we're proud of our National Guard.
Sorry, that was the clip about Illinois and Portland, but she's also bitching about Hegseth too, and we have a clip about that. But I'm just curious. Do you think that Jasmine Crockett is going to call her Senator Hot Wheels? I'm just curious. Yeah, probably not.
Well, I think the Democrats have to call her out for being so supportive of law enforcement in that clip.
Yeah,
that was Republican talking point after Republican talking point coming out of her mouth, which is just funny to see.
Yeah, well, she's going to bitch in this next clip. So here's the one where she's talking about more Hegseth and the military.
But you retired from the National Guard. You were a lieutenant colonel.
23 years, proud of it.
Black Hawk helicopter pilot in Iraq. You served in combat. Secretary Hegseth told senior military leaders just a few days ago he doesn't want to prevent women from serving, but he's now going to require everyone meet the male standard. Let's listen to that.
When it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result.
How did you hear those remarks, and how do you think female service people heard them?
Well, this is the least qualified Secretary of Defense in our nation's history.
Oh my God.
And he's questioning the ability of the women who actually qualify to do their jobs. The female rangers, the female that graduated from SEAL school have met those highest standards.
Okay, so there's an issue there because no female has ever graduated from SEAL school. Like there are no female SEALs, just FYI. So that's a lie.
Yeah. If they've met the standard, then they're all in agreement.
Yeah.
We are just saying there should be a standard. And I think it's so crazy when women complain about this because it is for protection of women and safety because we don't want women to die doing this stuff.
Right. You should be held to that standard. Like what's wrong with being held to that standard? I don't know why you would want to complain about that. Yeah.
It's for your own safety though. We don't want our soldiers to be put in a position that they can't do something required of them and they die or other people die as a result. Like, I don't understand what is so hard about having a safety standard. That it benefits everybody.
Yeah, she's confusing it with G.I. Jane. I think she's confusing her thoughts with what actually happened in a movie. This isn't, I know, it's not Demi Moore, right? Demi Moore did not actually become a SEAL, just FYI, Tammy. So this next chick, she made a TikTok about how she's leaving Fort Hood. Fort Hood is like right down the road from me. I think they renamed it. They renamed it to, I can't even remember the name that they renamed it to. And then I think they named it back. So that doesn't cost us money or anything, but she's mad because they have fitness requirements now. And you'll see in this video how she feels about it. Oh, so she's dancing and she's kind of overweight and she's irritated because she wants, it says, get the F out of Fort Hood. She got orders to get out of there. And, you know, this is the thing. It leads to another discussion because I'm starting to think about like disability. You know, a lot of these people who are getting out. Okay. So she's getting out of the military because, you know, she's, I guess, not fit to serve. So a lot of these people are going to be getting disability, which is okay. That's fine. And people are going to come at me for this. But in fiscal year 2023, disability compensation made up about 43% of the VA's budget. And that costs, it was like over $149.4 billion. So almost $150 billion, billion with a B, you guys. So for the fiscal year of 2025, the DoD budget was requested at $850 billion. And then that disability, think about that disability cost. It's huge. So a lot of these people who are like, I'm not fit, I'm going to get out, they're going to get disability checks. We need to probably get somebody to audit that. I feel like that I need to put my hand down. I feel like that requires an audit. Somebody needs to doge the crap out of the DoD, and especially a lot of this disability stuff that people are going to be claiming when they're like, well, I'm not fit to serve, I'm going to leave. And yeah, there are a lot of overweight people that were in the military that are going to be getting disability checks from us, which is not okay.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it should be audited. I think even conservatives fall into the trap sometimes where we don't want to touch the bucket of money that's meant for the military.
Right.
But there is a lot of corruption and waste, not with the people who serve, but with the administrations who hand this money out for the last 50 years, you know? So I agree. It does need to be audited. And I think you're right. There are people that are going to be like, that you can't do that. But it absolutely, no stone unturned. The government is giving way too much of our money out. We need to have some kind of standard for it. And I'm with you. It's one of the things we should
so
review.
much waste in the military. And we love the military. We support it absolutely 100%. And you're right. So many conservatives do, but we've got to audit it. Like somebody's got to audit it and cut the fat, pun intended, really cut the fat. And we got to take responsibility. Everybody's got to take responsibility for their health, which is why I like All Family Pharmacy. We love All Family Pharmacy. They have everything you need from essential medications to biohacking support. You can get them all delivered fast with the doctor's prescription included. Unlike a lot of pharmacies out there that are pushing vaccines as the only option, All Family Pharmacy believes that you have choice and medical freedom. And so they have ivermectin and mebendazole, and they've lowered prices on that by up to 25%, making them super affordable for you. Just like $2 a capsule, I think is what they have for ivermectin. Plus you can save an extra 10% with code CHICKS10. Flu season is here, you guys. So it's really good to be proactive and stock up on meds for that, like Tamiflu they have, antibiotics, antivirals, ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, vitamin C, DK, magnesium, stuff like that. They have flu kits and sinus infection kits, which is really great to have on hand because you know when you have a sinus infection, you don't want to go sit in an office with a bunch of other sick people. So stock up now. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. Use code CHICKS10. Do not wait for flu season to hit your family. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. Use code CHICKS10. Do that. Governor Pritzker is on his I'm a tough guy rampage right now. And he was doing the rounds yesterday on all the I saw him so much yesterday when I was watching all the different channels. He's doing the whole I refuse to let Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and Bovino continue to march towards autocracy. He's doing this whole it's autocracy thing. So he thinks he's a big tough guy. Watch this clip.
Refuse to let Donald Trump, Kristi Noem, and Gregory Bovino continue on this march toward autocracy. Their plan all along has been to cause chaos, and then they can use that chaos to consolidate Donald Trump's power. They think they can fool us all into thinking that the way to get out of this crisis that they created is to give them free rein. Well, that plan will only work if we let it. The state of Illinois is going to use every lever at our disposal to resist this power grab and get Noem's thugs the hell out of Chicago. I'm not afraid.
I feel like you are afraid, just a little bit, maybe just a teeny bit afraid. So he's doing that. He's doing the whole put him up, I'm not afraid thing. And then, they're literally declaring war on the federal government. Like, this is what they're doing. This is what he's doing that. And then Brandon Johnson is doing that. And Johnson was talking about civil war yesterday. This is what he's doing. Listen to this clip.
To be a part of this collective action, here's what's most important here. We know that this president is not interested in adhering to the law. So we're going to give him something to hold him accountable. And if he violates the law in the city of Chicago, we will do just that, hold him accountable.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi.
I know you're going to talk about the Texas Guard, Illinois Guard, but can you give us a little bit about what your next steps could be to fight that?
Well, look, our corporate counsel has been in constant communication with our Attorney General for several months now. And I just wanted to offer this up. A couple of years ago, I said very candidly that the right wing in this country wants a rematch of the Civil War.
Oh my God.
I want that to sit in right now, because the President of the United States of America has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America. That's right. He's more interested in giving billions of dollars to other nations, while farmers in urban cities around this country are literally being destabilized.
What is he doing?
Like, what is he even talking about?
I know, right? He's talking about farmers. And meanwhile, like, I think there were 7 dead and 26 shot in Chicago last weekend. Maybe you should concentrate on that.
The war is in Chicago already.
Yeah, exactly. This guy he is such an idiot, though. Like, he has no business being in the job that he's in. And he's so concerned. Both of these guys are so concerned about fighting Trump that they're not concerned about the safety in their own city and their state. It baffles me. And liberals are all about this. So it's crazy. This is American AF talking about civil war, mind you.
Liberals need to experience losing something more than just an election. Like, we have actual soldiers, rednecks, people that have been living in the mountains for the last 20 years preparing for this shit. Liberals have people who don't know what gender they are. They don't know what bathroom to use. People legit pretending to be dogs and babies. I swear, the day that it kicks off, the liberal army is going to be wearing rainbow camo, marching in lockstep to Beyonce and Taylor Swift mashup remixes with weapons of inclusion, while we have rifles, gasoline, ATVs, and enough fucking ammo to make Red Dawn look like a school play. I can guarantee there will be a large group of them wearing bicycle helmets and handing out diversity pamphlets. I mean, if it did kick off, the shit would be over so quick. If it was a full-blown war, it would be over in at least, and I'm being generous, at least 2 months. We are past the point of reconciliation. We are past the point of working together. There's no working together. It's building up right now. And there's going to be some sort of spark that's going to kick this whole fucking thing off.
Yeah, they need to quit saying this stuff. Like, guys like Brandon Johnson in Chicago, these liberals, just all these blue-haired weirdos, they need to quit saying stuff like civil war. They just need to quit doing that, because I feel these mentally unstable, like insecure weirdos they shouldn't be poking something that they have no business poking, honestly. Because to me, it reminds me of, like, you remember, did you ever see Back to the Future? I know that's like before, you're so young. You kind of remember.
Seen it.
You've seen Back to the Future. There's a scene where Marty McFly, who's like the dad when they go back, Marty McFly, who's like this, he's quiet, nerdy guy. He just gets so sick of Biff's shit that he winds up, he's just so tired of it. He's tired of being bullied. He winds up and he just nails the crap out of Biff. We're Marty McFly. Like, that's who we are. We're tired of it. Like, stop coming at us with your crap, your stupid crap, your bullying crap, because we're going to wind up and finally we're going to nail you. And you're not going to know what's hit you when it finally hits you, because these people keep poking and poking. And I don't know why they want that. Why do they want a civil war with people who are literal preppers? You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's a stupid motive, and it's stupid for this guy to get out on a stage and talk about civil war. Why would you do that? It's just really stupid.
I'm with you. I think conservatives have been hearing that for for a decade at least now, and we have all been busy raising our kids and being productive members of society that we're not entertaining this idea of war. But you keep poking and you keep poking, and then keep killing us.
Right.
What do you expect to happen when you do that? We've let it go for so long and just try to be normal people and live our lives. I think so many people are like, I just want to make steak and
leave me
raise my
alone.
kids.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. What is this deal? But I do think it's coming to head, like you said.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, it was George McFly, not Marty. People are correcting me. You're right. It was George McFly. Marty was Michael J. Fox, wasn't it? Yeah. That's right. He also Brandon Johnson wants ice-free zones. Like what? Okay, so that's happening. This is what he wants.
An executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration.
Oh my God.
The order establishes ice-free zones.
Okay.
That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
Okay, so what does that mean? So basically it's like sanctuary area is what that is. How can that even be? How can he even do that? It's insane.
You can't.
What are you doing? So I want a little sanctuary ice-free zone. So basically no law enforcement is allowed in this one area. That's going to work out well for you in Chicago. Good luck with that, dude. Good luck. It's crazy. And then this judge, is it Immerget? I think is her name. She issued the temporary restraining order saying no National Guard. That happened. And Stephen Miller put out a great X about this. An Oregon judge ruled that the commander-in-chief, this is in Oregon, ruled that the commander-in-chief cannot station federal troops in her state to defend the lives of federal officers. I don't understand, like these judges, some think that Trump should just defy these judges. And I'm on the fence about that. I'm on the fence because I feel like, these are obviously activist judges, right? And, there's a part of me that's like, tell them to pound sand. Like this is a bunch of crap. They are not actual judges who believe in upholding the law, which is what they should do. But at the same time, because these people are going to disagree with Trump no matter what. But at the same time, I get really squirrely about telling judges to F off because it could happen the other way too. And remember when AOC in 2023, she said the same thing. She said, it's just defy judges' orders. I think we have a clip about that.
Been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has already issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that the courts have the legitimacy and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts. It is the justices themselves, through the deeply partisan and unfounded nature of these rulings, that are undermining their own enforcement.
So you're supposed to have a balance of the branches, right? And right now, there's an imbalance when it comes to safety of the American people when these judges are like, nah, screw law enforcement, because we're just going to ignore that. And the whole point of government is to keep us safe, right? And there's this, and I love the point that Elon made in this X. I think this is a really wonderful point. He said, if any judge anywhere can block every presidential order everywhere, we do not have democracy. We have tyranny of the judiciary. And I agree with that. But it's like, how do you balance that, right? I mean, I guess, and then people will say it is an autocracy because you've got the executive branch telling it's this fine balance that you've got to strike. And so.
Just for me, I think he has to defy the orders because they know that they're not going to win. I think he's absolutely going to appeal all of these cases and they're going to say, yes, the president does have this authority. But if we don't ignore these rulings and we stop what we're doing for 6 months, 8 months, they've completely obstructed our entire agenda for basically half of Trump's term. They can just completely undermine our elected leadership. And I am with you, like, we have to think, what if the other side does this? But sadly, we've learned they absolutely will. And it doesn't really matter what we do. They are going to defy justice. They're going to weaponize government. They're going to do all of these bad things. And I'm kind of to the point that I think we kind of have to play the game as it exists. They're going to play hard. We have to play a little bit hard too. And I want him to defy these orders because I voted for the Trump agenda. I don't
Right.
want a judge to obstruct his agenda for most of his term.
Right.
So if he doesn't defy them, that's what happens.
And to me, it boils
I'm
down.
with Stephen Miller.
Right. And to me, it boils down to law and order. And to your job, your number one job is to keep the American people safe. Are you doing that? No, you're not doing that. Freaking do it. So that's where I stand on it. Like, do what's best for the American people and for the safety of your constituents. And they're not freaking doing that. And if the executive branch has to step in and help them do that, they need to do it. So there's that. Now there's a Democrat voter, and this stuff really pisses me off when I see this. He's a DACA recipient. I guess you call him a recipient. Just a DACA dude. He's a DACA dude, and he says that he's going to be turning in his DACA and he's going to be leaving the United States for Mexico because of the Trump administration. So, check this kid out. We have a video of him? I think we do. Don't we have a video? Do we have a video of him? I think we do. Do we not? Well, crap, we don't have him. Okay. Well, anyways, we had a great video, and I guess we don't have it. It was of a DACA recipient, and he was really mad because he was saying that, he didn't like everything that Trump was doing, and he was going to leave, and he had been here for 33 years. And so he was like, I'm going to leave now because I don't like everything that Trump is doing. I don't like everything that's been happening. So I'm going to leave, which makes me wonder, like, if these DACA recipients are here and they've been here for decades, right? I guess, can they just tiptoe back into Mexico? Because from what I've heard, Mexico has pretty strict immigration policies. You can't just walk right back in there. In fact, I think their immigration policies are stricter than ours, which is interesting. You can get in trouble for just like trying to walk back in there. And there's a lot of immigration policies, like they're really big on immigration and illegal immigration law. And you can't just like walk back in there if you have a temporary resident visa or whatever. So this guy's like, yeah, I'm just going to go back there. Okay. So, all right. And if he does that, if DACA recipients decide to leave and go back to their country of origin, you can be barred reentry back in here, which I guess he's okay with, but he got educated here. He got like a master's and a PhD here. You're welcome. So these are the people that are right. Exactly. We paid for that. So a lot of these people, it was just a very short video, but he's just like, bye, like, screw you, Trump. But this is the kind of stuff that irritates me because we pay for this stuff and then they get pissed off and they're ungrateful. And I just want to give them the
self-support.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And so yesterday on The View, they were talking about all this immigration stuff. Whoopi Goldberg jumped in and she told the audience to put cocoa butter on, put it on your faces, put cocoa butter on your faces, practice a Latin accent to throw off DHS. Like, first, I guess she's encouraging all of us to do Latin face now, which when did that become okay? But check out this clip.
To the Super Bowl when Bad Bunny is there and round up all these people that are illegal immigrants. Do you think that she would go if it was Garth Brooks or Eminem or Taylor Swift or any other white person?
Let me understand what you're saying, because she's going to go to the Super Bowl and round up. How's she going to know who's who?
Because the Supreme Court has given permission to question anyone who has a Spanish accent, who has a dark skin.
Yeah. So here's
That's why.
Thing. Here's the thing. Everybody, get a little cocoa butter, sit in the sun. That's the first thing. and this is the only time you can probably ever do this, give yourself a Latin accent.
Oh my God.
You know, Whoopi, that is such a good idea.
And see if she can tell who's who.
Honestly, it's like, and then the clapping, the people in the, like the sheep and I cannot with these people in the audience that are like, this is okay for her to say that. What is wrong?
Yeah. Megyn Kelly had a tweet about this video and just said, like, I heard that is racist because that was funny because she got in trouble a couple years ago for like a Halloween costume.
She just talked about it. All she did was talk about blackface, and she got canceled. It's just insane. And then here's Whoopi saying, yeah, go ahead and do brown face. Like, I'm encouraging you to do it, and then fake a Latin accent, and it's suddenly okay. These people are out of their freaking minds. And then
Alex, bad skincare advice.
Yeah, it is. Don't put
cocoa butter in the sun. It will age you so fast.
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
don't do that.
Take that from us. Pro tip: don't do that. And then Alex Padilla, you guys remember him? He's the one that busted in. I think he's the guy that busted in on Noam's press conference. You remember that? And he was dragged out, and he was a big drama queen about it. Oh God, they're touching me. Oh no. He had to weigh in too, because apparently Jesus's parents were Jose and Maria. In case you didn't know that, listen to this.
Vice President J.D. Vance, when referring to you and that incident, used the wrong name. He called you Jose Padilla. How did you understand that misnaming of you?
Yeah. Sadly, not surprised, because this is how petty this administration is. Not just
petty.
Trump, not just Vance. It's the culture that they have created for themselves. And I knew what he was trying to do, right? To call a Latino man Jose flippantly. That's their way of trying to ridicule us. For Vice President Vance in particular, right? Let's remember who Jesus' parents were. They were Jose and Maria, Joseph and Mary.
Is that in the Bible? I
don't think that Alex Padilla can come to terms with the fact that J.D. Vance just didn't know his name. Like, it wasn't some snide remark. No one knows who you are, and before
nobody
you
knew.
busted in on the DHS secretary, literally no one knew.
No one knew.
You can't accept that just like someone didn't know his name.
Misnamed him.
That's what happened. They misnamed him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's that guy. He's like, don't you know who I am? No, nobody knows who you are. Sorry, not sorry. Like, get a life. Yeah. And then and somebody said that, like, in the Bible, weren't they Joseph and Miriam or something? Like, anyways, they had Hebrew names. And then also, this post was viral yesterday. We have a clip of that. I thought this was interesting. 2 immigrants and 2 white men who married immigrants that claim to hate immigrants. This was pissing me off yesterday, because how many times do we have to tell people these are legal immigrants? These are legal. Like, why is this such a hard concept for the left to understand? Is that there's a difference between legal immigration and illegal immigration. It's like, we wrote about that in our book. Miriam and I did. Mock and I did. Her parents are legal immigrants from Poland. And then they came here and they melted into the American melting pot. That's encouraged. We love that. Conservatives love that. But if you bust in over our border and you break the law, we discourage that. We don't like that. You're breaking the law. And then what you're doing is you're cutting in line in front of other people who are waiting in line to do it legally. It's kind of like, you're that jerk when you wait in line, you're trying to get off an exit or onto an exit, and you wait there for like 5 minutes and some asshole pulls in front of you at the very last minute. You know how much we hate those people? You're that person, except for you're doing an illegal thing. It's against the law. Why is it that they have such a hard time grasping that concept? I don't understand.
I think that they intentionally conflate the two, because illegal immigration is not really popular with anybody, but there are people who are pro-immigration, so they just try to make it all seem like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But actually, that's very racist. Usha is not an immigrant. She's an American. Her parents were immigrants.
Okay. So she's like Miriam and her sister.
Yeah.
She's basically Miriam and her sister. Yeah.
But that liberal who posted that, thinking he's like dropping the mic on some hard point about J.D. Vance. It's like, first of all, J.D. Vance never said he hates immigrants.
No.
And his wife is not an immigrant. She's a child of immigrants. She's an American.
She's Miriam. Yeah. She's basically Miriam. None of us hate immigrants.
Yeah.
Conservatives don't hate. No, conservatives don't hate immigrants. We don't even hate illegal immigrants. We just don't, we hate the fact that they've broken the law, and we want them to not break the law. And then we want to basically prosecute them for breaking the law, just like every other criminal. And then we want them to GTFO and quit using our resources, because you don't get to use our shit for free. You just don't get to do that. So the entitlement and then just the ignorance of saying they're immigrants. They're not immigrants. They're illegal immigrants. There is a difference. And I'm so sick of the conflation of the two. You're absolutely right. It's ridiculous. Joe Rogan actually said something yesterday too that was kind of along the same vein. It was very irritating to me. Check this out.
The same ownership was in place, and then Harris wins, and they continue to ramp things up.
Yeah, I don't know what you think of the new administration. Certainly there are things that I like about and some of their pro-tech posture and things like that. But what's happening now is it's kind of disappointing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
We were told there would be no. Well, there's two things that are insane. One is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up in construction sites and raiding them, gardeners.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Or Palestinian students on college campuses. Or not, like there's a did you see this video of this Turkish students at Tufts University that wrote an essay, and then there's a video of like ICE agents like I don't know.
Is that the woman?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was her essay about? It was just critical of Israel, right?
Just critical of Israel. Yeah, I mean.
And that.
Okay. So when it comes to gardeners and like migrant workers, construction workers, our boy works in construction. If they're illegal, if they're here illegally, GTFO. They're not exempt. Just because they're gardeners doesn't mean that they're exempt. If they're not drug dealers, I never voted for, okay, I want illegal immigrants to get out, but only if they're drug dealers. No, I wanted all illegal immigrants to GTFO. That's what I voted for. I'm sorry if they have, gardening jobs, or if they have construction jobs, or if they work in food service. I don't give a crap. They're illegal. They broke the law. They are not legally here. It doesn't matter what job they have, Joe Rogan. I'm sorry that, you have a gardener that is illegal. They have to leave. They have to leave.
I completely agree. I'm so glad to hear you say that, because I thought I was going to be like, come in here, be the mean one.
No, I don't understand
I'm
the
with
differentiation.
You.
Yeah.
And also the idea, I know Joe Rogan's not like a liberal, but this is such a liberal thing to do, where always the illegal immigrant is the victim in this. It's like, what about the people who wanted those jobs, who needed those jobs to feed their families? Those are the real victims of illegal immigration, those Americans. And I wish these people had as much sympathy for Americans as they do for illegal immigrants.
They don't.
I don't wish any harm on those people. I hope they go work construction in another country or come back legally and work construction here.
Precisely.
But I have a lot more sympathy for the Americans who want those jobs that can't work them because they're competing with unrealistic labor prices of illegal immigrants.
Or it cuts down the wages of the American workers who are also working those jobs, because those people are willing to work for such cheap wages. It just affects everybody across the board in so many ways. It's such a ripple effect. I get so sick of those, it's like they're not exempt. Those people are not exempt, and they're taking jobs from American people. So suck it, Joe Rogan. Suck it. I do think that he probably takes care of his liver. That's one thing that he probably does. He may use dose. I don't know. The jury's out. We should ask him. You may be eating well and working out and doing all the right stuff, because, a lot of us do that. But a lot of folks ignore their liver. It's easy to forget, but your liver does 500 functions daily that affect energy and digestion and how you feel. It's our body's filter, you guys, and it's a good idea to give it some love. You got to do that. I do dose shots because they're yummy and they're clinically backed, and they're just 2 ounces of what tastes like really good fresh orange juice, like really concentrated, and they're so good. Dose supports liver health, and it promotes daily function of your liver. There's zero sugar, junk, calories. There's no calories in it. And it helps to manage energy and digestion and metabolism, and it helps you feel less sluggish, and it's really great. Plus, it helps liver enzyme levels, if that's something you've been dealing with. I had some issues, some elevated AST and ALT numbers, and I've been taking dose regularly for a few months now, and those numbers were normal at my last lab. So there's something to this stuff. Head to dosedaily.co/chicks. Use code CHICKS for 35% off your first subscription. Your body's going to thank you. That's dosedaily.co/chicks, because taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It is essential. Dose is awesome. Do it. Real quick, you guys, we didn't talk about this the other day, but Jane Goodall, you guys know Jane Goodall. You remember her? She passed away. And we didn't mention it, and I wanted to mention it, but I also wanted to mention what a colossal disappointment that she is and that she turned out to be. There's a pre-recorded interview before her death saying that she wished that Trump and Musk and Trump supporters, all of us, would be sent to space. She said, I would like to put them on one of Musk's spaceships along with Musk and some of his supporters. Check this out.
You don't like?
Absolutely, there are people I don't like. And I would like to put them on one of Musk's spaceships and send them all off to the planet he's sure he's going to discover.
Would he be one of them?
Oh, absolutely. He'd be the host. And you can imagine who I'd put on that spaceship.
Who?
Along with Musk would be Trump and some of Trump's real supporters. And then I would put Putin in there. And I would put President Xi. I'd certainly put Netanyahu in there. And his far-right government.
Okay, you freak. She was also against like population. She wanted population control, but she forgets like Trump back in 2019. Everybody forgets this. He made animal abuse a crime. He made it a felony. I think it was a felony, a federal crime actually in 2019. That's what he made it. So, I mean, maybe give him a little bit of credit for that, but no, we can't do that because she also had severe TDS. And then she was speaking at a World Economic Forum panel, because of course she did that, as a messenger of peace. And then she advocated reducing the global population down to 450 million, which is a 95% reduction from today's How do you propose to do that, Jane? Oh my God. So here she is on population control, you guys.
To eat less meat, we need to stop land being used for cattle and growing grain for the billions of animals that we keep in our intensive farms. And then finally, we cannot hide away from human population growth because, you know, it underlies so many of the other problems. All these things we talk about wouldn't be a problem if there was the size of population that there was 500 years ago.
She should have stuck to playing with monkeys. You know what I mean?
I feel like this is elder abuse. Like she's way too old to be making these points. I feel like someone just handed her a script and marched her out there like a female Joe Biden. And I couldn't take anything she said seriously anyway.
She's just a crazy lib. Crazy lib, you guys. So there you go. If you didn't know that, now you know. The more you know. So we got to talk about the peace deal. Israel and Hamas, they started talking about the whole Trump Gaza peace plan. And apparently most of the first phase terms, like the ceasefire, the hostage release, the prisoner exchange, they've been agreed upon, in principle at least. I have a clip of Bibi talking to Euronews. It's just an interesting perspective I wanted you guys to see from Bibi.
People would say, okay, now let's give bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, let's give them a state. Not only will we give them a state, it'll be 1 mile from New York, which is what they're suggesting. After this October 7th massacre against Israel, we'll give the Palestinians a state 1 mile or a few miles from Tel Aviv. That's not going to promote peace.
He was talking about 9/11. If it happened to us, it's kind of like us giving, giving them the Muslims, giving them some sort of a state just a mile from what happened at 9/11. So that's what he was talking about. I just thought that was an interesting perspective. And then here's Trump talking in the Oval yesterday about the deal that he's trying to make.
What's happening with your team in Egypt right now over your proposed peace plan? It was reported by Axios over the weekend that you had called with Prime Minister Netanyahu, where you told him to stop being so negative and to take the win when it came to Hamas's response to that. Is that true? And
no, it's not true. He's been very positive. He's been very positive on the deal. Everybody is. I think every nation is. We have just about every nation working on this deal and trying to get it done. Something that you could say 3,000 years if you look at it in certain ways, or you could say centuries, but this is a deal that incredibly, everyone just came together. They all came together. No, Israel's been great. They've all been good.
So they still have some obstacles, right? There's a couple. One is like the disarmament of Hamas. They got to figure that out because, I mean, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. The fighting hasn't stopped because they're still doing that. And then there's like logistical issues, right? They got hostages. They got to figure out what to do with the hostages. They got to coordinate all the releases of the hostages, safe releases. They got to verify a list of prisoners. And then, you know, we got to make sure, they got to make sure that that doesn't break down. So I can't even imagine being a family member of one of those hostages and watching all this and seeing how that plays out, because there are still hostages, you know? So we're going to be keeping an eye on all that because it's still continuing. I would imagine by the beginning of next week, at least that's what I've read, and that could change at any time. They were saying that hopefully things will start coming to fruition more by the beginning of next week is what they're saying. Yeah. But I don't know.
And I've heard Trump encourage a couple times that hostages would be released like very early on in this process as a sign of goodwill. And I think he's been very strong on that. Like there is no negotiation without a hostage release. And I think everyone pretty, you know, besides the pro-Palestine crazies, like everyone agrees that's a good starting point. Even if you think Israel needs to chill a little more, everybody agrees that the hostages should be released, and Trump has made that non-negotiable. And I do think it would be a sign of goodwill, maybe that people would trust Hamas more if they did that first.
It would be nice if they did it today, seeing as how it's October 7th. That would be nice, right? Speaking of Muslim terrorists, Zohran Mamdani, he says he's going to pay for all of his commie proposals in New York City by raising state, corporate, and income taxes, which, you know, is weird because he can't really do that. Only the state can do that. And if he does it, or if the state does it, that means the state is paying for stuff for the city. I don't know. It's all weird and convoluted, but here's how he says he's going to pay for things.
That we would raise to fund this agenda is in two parts. The first is by increasing the state's top corporate tax rate to match that of New Jersey. That would raise $5 billion. This would only impact the most profitable corporations, ones that are making millions of dollars in profits. The second is to increase...
And I'm sorry,
please.
You're sure they're not going to leave? Y esas compañías no se van a ir de Nueva York. They're not going to leave New York.
So the way that this tax works is it applies to any business doing business here. They could be located in Miami, but if they're doing business in New York, it applies to them. And the reason I believe everyone will keep doing business here is our economy is so large that if it was a country, it would rival the top countries in the world. The second is personal income taxes. I think that the top 1% of New Yorkers who make $1 million or more a year should pay 2% more in personal income taxes. That would raise $4 billion. These are the two major revenue points.
Yeah, Godspeed, New York, honestly. You know?
Yeah, millionaires don't pay enough taxes in New York. Just ask anyone.
Right. Just ask them. So that's happening. I swear that guy is going to win. I just am convinced of it. He's going to win, and it's Godspeed, New York. So speaking of idiots running for things, there is a Gen Z activist. I don't know if you guys remember her. We have a video of her. Her name is Olivia Julianna, and she's hinting at a congressional bid in Texas against Wesley Hunt. I just find this really interesting. We have a video of her. You'll remember when you see her.
You're on the menu. Yes. So Gen Z, let's take our seat in our democracy.
I just wanted to point this out, okay? First of all, she's ineligible to run, I think, in 2026 because she's too young. But she's saying, I think I want to run for office, blah, blah, blah. So these are the kind of folks on the left that are running. Like, she wants to run against Wesley Hunt. These are the leftists that want to run for office. Okay. I don't know. I just look at the difference between their bench and our bench. And I just want to point out the stark differences between them and us. Right.
Yeah. I feel very secure in that.
I mean, when you start to feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know, you guys, I don't know about, the right. How are we doing on the right? Just remember that video. And remember that she wants to go up against Wesley. Good luck with that.
In Texas. Yeah.
In Texas. Good luck with that, Julianna. Also, I'm just trying to be helpful here, but Julianna may want to look into some lean because she would maybe benefit from that. And by the time the average person hits 60, they've lost and regained several hundred pounds. And you have no idea how much damage gaining and losing that kind of weight back and forth can do to you. They call it weight cycling, and half of us Americans do it. And if you do it enough, you're at risk for diabetes and liver damage and heart attack and stroke. It's when you lose like 10 or more pounds, but then you put the pounds back plus a couple more, and it puts a strain on your organs. And then you can get on a road to other serious health issues. So the bottom line is that you need to stop it, stop the weight cycling. And non-prescription lean is a great way to do it. There are no injections. There's no weird side effects. And lean was created by doctors. It's an oral supplement. It's not a GLP. It's just really great science. It's all natural, and it's very impressive. And it targets weight loss in 3 ways. It helps you maintain blood sugar, control your appetite, and then it helps you burn fat by converting it to energy. And that's a really good thing, right? And none of that like weird side effect stuff. So if you want to try this and add lean to your diet and exercise lifestyle, you can get 20% off when you enter chicks at takelean.com. That's code chicks at takelean.com. Okay. I wanted to show you guys this clip that I saw a while back. Actually, I saw Sarah Adams. I don't know if you know who Sarah Adams is. I think she's ex-CIA. I know she's definitely, she's been in some sort of law enforcement agency. She was on Sean Ryan's podcast a while back. And I saw a clip of her talking about the next 9/11 type attack on this country. And I was riveted by it. And I don't think that we see enough of this kind of stuff. And I saw another clip of her, this clip that I'm about to show you, that went into a little bit more specificity on like places that she thinks it would happen. And I just wanted to share it with you guys. So check this out. It's Sarah Adams.
A lot of focus on Pennsylvania in this threat. A lot. If you are in any city in Pennsylvania, you should be preparing, in my opinion, right? So there are certain states that have been very forward-leaning. Florida's been very forward-leaning. Alabama, Georgia, the Carolinas. It's a lot. One of the biggest training camps is actually at Camp Chapman Post Base.
Wow.
They train 2,500, and so every single one of those 2,500 is leaving Afghanistan. Think about that. It's very scary. So what we know about the plot, it's very, very large. They want to do 3 times the size of 9/11. It's very simple. They want to do another aviation plot, but this time their intent is to take down about a dozen airliners. And then the last piece, they want to have attacks where you live, work, and play. These are community level attacks. So we're talking churches, shopping centers, hospitals, and their focus is really on communities that have a higher percentage of a veteran population, because they want the veterans to feel in their hometowns what they felt in Iraq and Syria and Afghanistan. That's supposed to be the feel of that piece. Honestly, I've met a lot of law enforcement organizations since January. Unfortunately, we started off, as you can imagine, a lot of people in law enforcement being like, well, is it going to happen in my town? What I like to say is, well, what percentage of your town is veterans, right? Like, that's where you start. Also, if it's going to go on for multiple days, potentially, well, it's going to go on for multiple.
My God. So when I saw that, I mean, I kind of went down the rabbit hole with a couple of videos from her. She's very matter of fact about it, right? It's just like, oh, man, it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, and it's Islamic, right? I mean, it's just, it's an it's going to be an Islamic attack again. And I feel like we just don't talk about this enough. So I figured I would, because we have a platform. So yeah, I figured I would mention it.
Yeah, when you played the clip of Bibi, which I thought he was making a good point, I totally understand him. So I don't mean to undermine his point about Israel at all. But when he was saying, that would be like inviting these people to New York. And I was like, we did do that. Right. We actually invited them to every city in America, unfortunately.
Yep. And everybody's forgotten, and we have invited
them. So we do know how that feels, and it is dangerous, and we're seeing the effects of it. Right. And in very small towns, like she said, she was mentioning Pennsylvania, but I mean, look at Michigan.
Oh my gosh. Michigan and like Houston.
See that kind of stuff.
And cities in Texas, Houston and Dallas are 2 of them. I live really close to a base, an army base. So, and people, like some guy just said, it's bullshit fear mongering. Okay. Well, I mean, I'd rather be prepared than to not.
I hope it is.
I hope it is too. I hope it's bullshit fear mongering. I really hope it is. But what if it's not? What if it's not? And I saw this other video, and you cannot dispute what this guy is saying. He's talking about Islamic immigration, and it's the long game, you guys. And I think that this is just a fascinating clip. And dispute it. Tell me this is bullshit propaganda. Go ahead and tell me it, because you cannot dispute anything this guy is saying. Check this out.
This is 16 years ago.
In order for a culture to maintain itself for more than 25 years, there must be a fertility rate of 2.11 children per family.
You got to have at least over 2 kids to preserve your cultural identity.
Historically, no culture has ever reversed a 1.9 fertility rate. A rate of 1.3, impossible to reverse. As the population shrinks, so does the culture. As of 2007, the fertility rate in France was 1.8. England, 1.6. Greece, 1.3. Germany, 1.3.
Do you understand? These are unsustainable numbers. You're going to die out as a culture.
Italy, 1.2. Spain, 1.1.
It's terrifying.
Across the entire European Union of 31 countries, the fertility is a mere 1.38.
Bye-bye, cultures.
In a matter of years, Europe, as we know it, will cease to exist. Population of Europe is not declining.
Why?
Why? Immigration. Islamic immigration. Of all population growth in Europe since 1990, 90% has been Islamic immigration. France, 1.8 children per family. Muslims, 8.1.
How the hell are you going to keep up with these numbers? Muslims have large families. Remember, this is 16 years ago, this video.
In southern France, traditionally one of the most populated church regions in the world, there are now more mosques than churches. 30% of children ages 20 and younger are Islamic. In the larger cities such as Nice, Marseille, and Paris, that number has grown to 45%.
That's 16 years ago. Listen, almost...
By 2027, 1 in 5 Frenchmen will be Muslim.
Yeah, it's so, and like there's somebody in our comments like, it's bullshit, like fear mongering. Okay, facts are fear mongering. All right, you do you. You totally do you. I'm just giving you the facts, which that's what it is. That's totally what it is. Look at the UK, man. Look at it. The #1 boy's name is Muhammad. But all right, you do you.
My sister has 6 kids, so I just want to say that she is helping us out. She's fighting this problem single-handedly. I'm behind. She laughed at me
You are
every time.
behind. You have time to have more, Corinne. And our producer right now who's running this show, Valen, get on the stick. Get on it, Valen. Valen is engaged and she needs to hurry up and have 8 kids. Good Lord, y'all. Get on it. Okay. All right. We need to talk a little bit about this Candace drama, because there's Candace drama, you guys. There's always Candace drama. Mock is so upset that she's not here to talk about this, I'm sure. But first, we've got this ex from Ian Carroll who goes on Candace's show, and he's a total jerk and accusing TPUSA of basically murdering Charlie. So this is happening. Check this out. So this is what he said. More and more evidence is pointedly squaring at TPUSA, and it's getting spicy. At this point, we need a special Sunday live stream to go over the evidence. We will go on blah, blah, blah. He's saying he's going to do it. So basically, he's saying that they did it. And then this guy, Yal Yacobi, is saying this is Candace Owens co-host saying TPUSA staff murdered Charlie Kirk. If you're a conservative and refuse to call out these demons, you're a coward. But listen, yesterday on Candace's Instagram stories, she teased dropping text messages. And these are her words. I'm going to read them to you. We don't have them for the screen, but I'll read them to you verbatim. Today, I'll be dropping messages from Charlie in his own words, which will dispel a lot of the lies that are being told about him by the people representing themselves as those who loved him most. She went on to say, I hereby sentence all demons to what they hate most, truth. Then she said, people are doing this for clicks. Charlie was not interested in Catholicism. Candace is lying about feelings toward Israel. And then, to those like quotes from other people, she said, challenge accepted. So my thing is that if she wasn't doing this for clicks, then why doesn't she just release the stuff all at once? Or why didn't she release the stuff weeks ago? Because she has gotten a lot of clicks and a lot of subs and a lot of money from those subs and those clicks and all of the stuff that she's been putting out since then. But I digress. Here are the receipts that she provided yesterday. We actually have an X of that. This is the stuff that she put out. So Evan Kilgore, who is obviously on Candace's side in all this, Zionist. Candace Owens never brings the receipts about Charlie Kirk and is embarrassing herself. And then here she is with the quote unquote receipts. So these are the text messages that that she put out. I guess it's Charlie saying, and there's no timestamp and there's no date on these. So I don't understand how, because usually when you have a text message, you can see those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand. And there's a third person in these text messages. We don't know who that is either. So apparently Charlie said, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. And then this third person, I don't know who it is, said, ugh. And then Charlie said, Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And then the third person said, please don't invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term, in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times. After dust settles a bit, maybe. Those are the texts. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know when these texts happen. There's no timestamp. I don't know who the third person is. They're not named. I don't know. I don't know what the context of all this was. We don't know what the background was, who it was. I just don't know. There's still a lot of stuff that I have questions about.
Yeah. There's also, I see this on both sides because people will release text to be like, oh, Charlie said this about Candace. And they're just screen caps and there's like no proof. And, maybe all of them are real. But I am a little skeptical because I could go in my phone and change, Valen's name to Charlie, and it looks like we've had a text about chicks on the right every day for the last 2 years. Like, right. I can put any kind of screen cap out there, and it doesn't really mean that much. And I think what we do know, and we've said this before, is like Charlie spoke for a living. He talked. There are thousands of hours of him speaking. That for sure I know came out of his mouth. That for sure I know is him. And I think now when we don't have him to dispute anything, what we should rely on is things that we've heard him say with his own mouth. Because all of these,
Amen, Corinne. Mm-hmm.
All of these text messages on both sides, I'm like, I don't, they're meaningless. I cannot prove that he typed those. I can't prove that he sent those. I don't know.
Yes, Corinne. Yes, I totally agree with that. It just sucks that he is not here to defend himself. And it just, I just think all of this is awful. All of it's awful. I think it's terrible. And I hope that TPUSA, I hope that Erica starts, they start talking about this, they start just at least speaking out and saying something. I hate all of this. I really freaking hate all of this. Also, just FYI, 64 Christians were hacked to death in Nigeria last month. A lot of these Christian pundits aren't saying a word about that. I feel like that's a story. And we're not talking about that. We're sure talking a lot about Gaza and Palestinians, but we're not talking about that. And we're Christians. So what's up with that? Like, why aren't a lot of these Christian influencers not talking about Christians being hacked to death? I'm just curious why that's not happening. So there's that. And I'm sure there's going to be stuff that comes out from Candace over the next week, because even though she says she's not trying to make a lot of money, she's going to be trickling stuff out all this week because she said she was going to be with like different people every single day this week. So FYI, that's happening. Another thing
really
that's
tearing apart. Sorry,
oh no, that's okay.
I think that the millennial fan base of like I've followed Candace for a decade. Like I've always really liked her. And Alex Clark from Turning Point is really big. I have always really liked her as well. And now they're fighting over this issue. And I hate to see that, like, regardless of how you feel, which side you're on, whatever, I hate to see two of our powerhouse conservative women who have such authority to speak with young people at each other's throats. That cannot be good for our movement at all.
No.
And I do think Candace has a little more responsibility there for the fires that she's starting, and I just hate to see that going on right now.
And she's become anti-Trump. And I think a lot of it's kind of like to Mock's point last week. I think a lot of this is going to be, it's going to be very telling at the midterms and in 2028 too, because it's going to fracture our party. This stuff is going to absolutely fracture, which is so freaking stupid, because at this point we should be so unified, because the left is an absolute hot mess. They are just a dumpster fire right now. If there's any point in history where we should be unified, it's right now. But we'll find a way to step on our own junk. This is what we do. Mm-hmm. And of course, we're being divided because of this Israel stuff. This is what's happening. So this is what's going to happen. Like, they are finding a way to fracture us, and they're doing it. And we're going to be split in two now, and then maybe even more. There's going to be more fracturing because of this issue right here. I can't, it's what's going to happen in 2026, you guys. This is what's going to fracture us. And it's what's going to make people go to their camp or another camp. And then people are going to vote for candidates based on who Candace votes for, Candace and Tucker vote for, and who the others vote for. Just watch. That's going to happen. And it's stupid. It's just so stupid.
And for me, this is so much like, it has become more than the Israel issue now, this division, because, and I think we talked about this pre-show, like, I do care about Israel. I'm happy to support Israel doing what they want to do, but it's not my number one issue.
Right.
The time that I spend thinking about it is not as much as I think about a million different issues in America. And I can kind of ignore that because it's not my top issue. So if Candace has a different opinion on it, that doesn't bother me. We have the same opinion on a million different things. But something I do care deeply about is the youth movement in our country. Turning out conservative voters, supporting Trump while he's in office to get his agenda through. All of those things I care deeply about, much more than the foreign policy issue. And now Candace is fracturing that. And to me, that is a
deal
much
breaker.
Bigger issue.
It's a deal breaker.
It's becoming a lot more difficult for me to ignore it, because I was happy to get over one thing, but I cannot get over this, because this is long-term consequences, in my opinion. And I hate to see that.
Yeah, I do too. I really do too. So we have some culture stuff for you guys. The first one is, do you guys like Zach Bryan? My daughter loves Zach Bryan. She really does. He's a country guy. I don't even know if he's country. He's more folksy country guy. I know that you like him, Corinne, but he released a single called Bad News. What a jerk. This guy turned out to be a total jerk. He could have actually been a decent human being. He ended up becoming a jerk. Listen to this. I think we can listen to it. Can we listen to it? No, she's just showing me. She's not going to play it.
Copyright will get us.
Yeah, I guess copyright's going to get it. Okay. So basically it talks about, there's all sorts of stuff about ICE and ICE raids and stuff like that in it. And he calls them MFers. And he's a woke idiot. She who laughs. Yeah. He's not a patriot. He turned out to be a woke idiot. And he's talking about ICE in it. And it's just, he's on the wrong side of this issue, total wrong side. And he has a lot of influence. And I think he just Dixie chicked himself is what he did. Mm-hmm. And so he is
not reading the room.
No, he's not. He's kind of an idiot. So that happened yesterday. That came out. And then Taylor Swift just came out with a new album, or whatever the kids call it these days. You guys call it an album? What do you call it?
I still call it an album.
An album. Yeah, she came out with a new album. She's been doing the rounds on talk shows, and she was talking to some British dude who asked her if she was going to quit when she got married. So check this out.
Tell me this is your last album.
What? No.
I just saw some fans going, well, she's going to get married and then she's going to have children and then she's going to be the last album.
A shockingly offensive thing to say.
Absolutely.
Shockingly.
It is not the last album.
It's not why people get married.
No, exactly.
So that they can quit their job.
Right. And go.
It's also like music for me is...
I think the fans were just panicking.
Oh, I know they love to panic sometimes, but it's like I love the person that I am with because he loves what I do and he loves how much I am fulfilled by making art.
I mean, I would like your thoughts on this, Corinne, since I don't really care about her, but
I do think the question was meant to get the exact answer that she gave. It is such a,
shocking,
well-designed question so that she can say like, no, I'm still going to girl boss, which I think is fine. Obviously, I'm married. I have a baby. I work, and I love what I do. So I get it, and I'm not Taylor Swift, so I imagine that's even more fun to do.
Right. Exactly.
So I have no problem with women working or girl bossing as much as they want to, but I do think that the left is getting a little orchestrated in how they have these like planned questions so that you can drop the mic on how much you're gonna reject a trad culture. It's like, okay, no one cared. No one really cared if you worked or not.
Right. Because deep down, I totally agree. Because deep down, it is kind of fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's like, it's okay for her to say, listen, being married is going to be awesome. And like, once she does settle down and get married and have kids, she's going to love it. It's freaking awesome. Not saying that she can't work, because it's the same thing. Like both Mock and I, we both work. We have our own business. We love doing that. And we have the support of our husbands. And thank God we do, because without them, we couldn't do it. Right. But having a family is so fun, you guys. It's so great. Like being moms, that's our number one love, right? That's our that we love that role the best. So I just wonder if when she becomes a mom, a wife and a mom, if that happens, if she becomes a mom, which I'm assuming she will, I wonder if she'll say that, because I remember I saw a couple days ago, I saw a video of Jennifer Lawrence at some sort of a presser for one of her movies, talking about how somebody asked her how motherhood changed her, and she was so gushy about it, which was really nice to see. I probably should have included that clip, but it was a really nice, it was just a different take, because you don't really see that from Hollywood or anything like that. She was just like, it absolutely changed me. It made me a better actress, because I understand the emotions of love more. And it's like, it really was nice to see that, because I don't think a lot of these young women, they gush about motherhood enough, because for so long, I think they've been taught not to. And it's okay. It's okay to say, yeah, being a mom is freaking awesome. Being a wife is freaking awesome. You can do everything if you want to do everything, or you can be a mom and a wife too. You can choose. And if you choose to do all the things, you can actually say being a mom is up here. I like doing that the best. It's okay to say that. It's totally.
And I don't think Taylor rejected motherhood at all. And to me, I think what she said was perfectly fine for the place in life that she is in, because it would be weird if she was obsessed with how great it is to be a mom, because she isn't one. And I do think
she isn't one, right?
Yeah, and there is something when it happens. You're like, oh wow, that was real. What people said about it, but it is something you just like grow into. And when you become a mom, you're like, oh, I guess my mom wasn't lying about how much she liked this.
Right, right.
And you have to feel it. And I assume that Taylor will, if she has kids, she'll feel that same way.
Yep.
I think what she said was totally fine for the place in life that she's in. And good for her.
Yeah, totally. And then this is something that you guys need to be aware of. This is the model standard of beauty now. It's Ella Emhoff, who's Kamala's stepdaughter. She is now fashion's it girl and has signed to one of the world's most elite modeling agencies, IMG. And I cannot know this alone. You guys have to know it with me. This is Ella Emhoff. She is.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
It's been a while
since I've done this. So
what?
That's right. Also, this top is.
What is even happening? This is a model, you guys. I remember like Christy Turlington and Linda Evangelista and Cindy Crawford and Naomi Campbell. Do you guys remember? This chick has like hairy armpits. What are we doing?
I feel like all the Gen Z girls I know are beautiful, like our producer Fallon, and they don't look like that. So I don't know why their models are looking like worse than our regular people.
It's weird. It's totally weird. So anyways, just pointing that out. That's a beauty standard now. No. All right. Something else I saw yesterday that I wanted to discuss. This video is of a Gen Z girl who is or was living in her car. I'm not sure of the timestamp of this video, but regardless, she at one point was filming herself in her car and she's living in her vehicle. So I'll let you watch the video first and then we're going to discuss some stuff.
Life update. I'm living in my car. My little S10. This is me. Stay home for the foreseeable future. And yeah, I don't know what to do. And I don't really have anyone. I toured 2 apartments yesterday. I won't qualify for them because you have to make 2.5 times the over $1,200 rent a month. And I don't even make the rent a month. I've never been homeless before. But you know what? This is a really good story. Like, I can only go, I mean, I could go down, but like, I'm gonna go up from here. Cause then, like, I'm broke and homeless at 21. But like, that makes for such a good story. When I'm like super successful and rich and like doing so well and have so many people. I'm gonna have such a bomb starter story. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be like, I was broke and homeless at 21. And look where I am now. Boom. And it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be like, wow. Go you. I just gotta make it through this part.
Okay. So I want so badly to feel sorry for this girl. I really do. I do. And I know that like Gen Z is struggling with the cost of things and I want to feel sorry. But like, first of all, I can't with the, let me get on TikTok and have my mental breakdown. Like that is something that everybody's got to stop. Just stop. You should be out hustling instead of doing that shit. That bothers me. That's the first thing that irritates me. And then the second thing is I went down a very small rabbit hole with this girl's profile. She has several social profiles and she has a PR contact now, right? She's traveled extensively. She's gone to Switzerland, Greece, Germany, Prague. She has a college degree from Iowa State. Listen, I don't doubt that I would be in financial trouble. I'm 54. I've never been to Europe. When I was her age, I was working 70 hours a week. You know what I mean? Like I was working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet. I'm just saying, I don't doubt that Gen Zers have issues financially now. I'm not saying that is not an issue. In fact, I talked to our financial guy yesterday. We did a whole podcast on that yesterday about Gen Zers and how it's different for them financially than it is for Gen Xers or boomers. And they blame boomers and Gen Xers for a lot of their problems. I get it. The landscape is different, but I think that we were willing to do things differently than a lot of Gen Zers are, you know, like have 4 roommates and eat ramen noodles and like get 3 jobs. It's just different. I don't know. I'm sure you think differently, Corinne.
I don't think that much differently, but first of all, the crying videos, that's the least sympathetic thing to me. So that's always hard, but I do empathize with the economy. Inflation is always going to be hardest on people who are making the least amount of money.
Right.
Usually that is young people. And I think all the time, like when I was 21, I was pretty stupid with money. I had a job, but I got by. I spent way too much stuff. I don't think I could have lived nearly the same life now that I did at 21, just because of the cost increases of apartments, of food, even gas, cars. So I do empathize. There's such a burden on young people and people making the least amount of money in an economy as tough as the one that we are in now.
Yes, I agree. The economy is different. It is different. But I also think that like we need to meet halfway. You know what I mean? Because I think that it's kind of like somebody said, she's like in dire straits, but she's got a Stanley. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like poverty is different now. You know, like it's the way that kids like Gen Zers look at living in dire straits. It looks different. She's got probably a nicer iPhone than I have. You know what I mean? And I have a job. So, and I'm 54. So this is the thing, like a lot of these and the traveling, are you kidding? It costs money to travel. Like we just looked into it to go to Europe. We're not going. And I have a job and I don't want to go because it's too expensive. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of these kids get to do a lot of these things and do a lot of things and they want a lot of things. and they want it early on. And those are the things I think that Gen Xers were like, well, I'm not going to have those things until I'm older because I can't afford, I'm going to put that off until I'm older. And they didn't have the things until they were probably in their 40s and 50s. Whereas a lot of these like 20 somethings, they're like, I'm going to have the things now. I want to have these things now. I do think it's different. And I'm not saying that the economy's not bad. I just think that we need to meet halfway on some of the, what are you willing to give up in order and what are you willing to do? Are you willing to live with 4 people? Are you willing to, eat cereal every single day? You know what I mean? Because we did those things. I feel like we did those things. So, and
I do think that that's totally fair to ask of her, but I just like the reality. So, my mom was a hostess and a waitress, and she had like 4 different jobs. Those jobs are like impossible to get for an American teenager now. You just don't get them. That illegal immigration and immigration have filled those roles. They've also made housing prices more competitive. That has led to a massive increase in costs. College has exploded like 500 times more expensive than it was in the 80s and 90s.
That's a great point.
So,
yeah.
So all of these, like that does compound, and I do think there's a problem. Gen Z is crying too much on camera, and they're not. These particular girls that are crying on camera are not the best problem solvers.
Right.
But there is a problem that probably some older, smarter people do need to start solving about
I agree.
our economy.
I agree. And I do think part of it is that we did screw the younger generations by importing a bunch of immigrants in here, illegal immigrants, because there are probably I don't even know, could be 50 million or more illegal immigrants that are in here taking jobs away from them. Plus there's, a lot of people that are sucking off the American taxpayer that just like, it affects the economy. And also these kids are voting for policies that don't help them. So they need to start thinking about doing that, is voting for policies that do help them. So there's that. And it's not just sucking off the American taxpayer. It's voting for things that get them out of a hammock and out working and being able-bodied kids that can get a good livable wage. That's the kind of stuff they need to start voting for. But unfortunately, a lot of them have been sold, just like, depend on the government. The government is your sugar daddy. No, the government is not your sugar daddy. You are your own sugar daddy. So make sure that you understand. You know what I mean? So there's that. Okay. Last thing today, I do not have any talks, but I do have 4 years of therapy in less than a minute. So if you're thinking of going to therapy, this may be helpful, and then you can save a lot of money. So check this out.
3 years of therapy in 60 seconds. Here we go. Number 1, turns out your parents did their best and also kind of fucked you up. But guess what? At the end of the day, you got to deal with it. Number 2, no one is coming to save you. No magical mentor, no secret billionaire uncle, not even fucking Batman. It's just you. And yeah, that includes doing basic stuff like folding your laundry before it becomes a fucking roommate. Number 3, boundaries. That doesn't mean blocking somebody on Instagram. Say it with me. No, with a smiley face. No. See? Revolutionary. Don't have to be mean or rude. Number 4, stop chasing people who treat you like a fucking option. I'm not a side quest. And if they can't see that, they need to go play somebody else's game. Number 5, self-care isn't bath bombs and face masks. It's getting 8 hours of sleep, eating something that grew in the ground, and answering that email before it ruins your whole fucking week. Number 6, feelings don't kill you. Crying won't kill you. Screaming into a pillow won't kill you. But ignoring your feelings? Oh, that's going to destroy you from the inside out. Number 7, you don't find yourself. You build yourself day by day. Some days you're leveling up and other days you're responding at square one. Both of them count. And last but not least, most of the time it's not that deep. You're not cursed. You're just tired, thirsty, and maybe overdue for a snack. There you go. That's 3 years of therapy condensed into a 60-second rent. I saved you 15 grand.
I love him.
So get a snack. I probably should have said, like, there's some F-bombs in there. I'm sorry. Like, hide your kids, hide your wives. But yeah, just get a snack. Maybe you just need a snack, you guys. All right.
It always helps.
It always helps. Okay, let's look at some super stickers, you guys. So we got Lori Weens' third round interview today is at 3:39 p.m. That is such an odd time for a third round interview, 3:39 p.m. That's so succinct. But we will be praying for you, Lori. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so she redid it. Lori said third round interview is at 3:30. I was going to say 3:39.
That makes more sense.
It sounded really weird. Okay, everybody pray for Lori. Marcy Peralez, prayers for Thomas and Mock and their family. Corinne, thank you for filling in for Mock. Daisy, thanks for carrying on in what must be a difficult time for you. We love you all. I am very worried about my best friend, and I'm worried about Thomas. So thank you for that. I appreciate that, Marcy. And everybody keep praying for Mock and Thomas. Brian Brumley, Amy Jo, you might want to check on your neighbors. Some of their cows get loose and ended up on ABC. Are you talking about The View, Brian? Because I would not confuse or conflate my cows with anybody on The View. That's just mean to my cows. It's mean, Brian. Michelle Enterline, woman should meet men's standards. You do not get VA disability for being fat. You get kicked out for being fat. Most disability is for PTSD or physical injuries or toxic crap they have been exposed to. I agree. But I think there's probably some disability that shouldn't be disability. Like there's probably some people out there. In fact, I read of one guy in the comments of one thread I was reading. He said that one of his friends came in and she went through basic and then said she couldn't deal with it. And she ended up on disability just for going through basic. And I'm like, how does that even happen? Like she didn't even serve. She just went through basic and then got on disability. That's the kind of stuff that needs to be audited. I think some people are trying to scam the system and that's not okay. So we just need to look into that. Kristen Thompson, prayers up for Thomas, Mock, and family. Thank you, Corinne, for helping our chicks out. Great earrings too, right? She's fabulous.
Thank you.
I said that this morning too. Jennifer, no. Jen is praying for Thomas and Mock. She has ordered us to keep 2 prayer candles lit for each of them. It's very sweet. She also wants Corinne to know that she is fabulous. She is fabulous. She is sending you both a bring it in hug. We didn't do that yesterday. We got to do. Did we do that yesterday? We got to bring it in today. MT, no one has released texts of him bad-mouthing Candace. If you've seen those, they're definitely fake. Candace is the only one doing this. Yeah, it's all tacky. It's just so tacky. MT, she's not a Christian. She sees people coming to Jesus via TPUSA, and her first instinct is to tear it all down. Satan's work, profit plus agenda over Jesus. I also think it's interesting because, in a lot of what she talks about Catholicism and how he was converting to Catholicism. And I don't see how that matters. One of the things I said to Corinne before the show today was that there are no denominations in heaven. So I just don't see how, who cares? Who cares if he was if he was or he wasn't? It doesn't matter. He's gone. You know what I mean? And he's bringing people to Jesus, and that's all that matters, right? So she needs to stop. Jennifer, no. Jen says that that is Elliot Emhoff. With the jury's still out, Jennifer. Joan Bacon, Erica has Charlie's phone. Candace needs to identify the date of the text messages, and Erica can either confirm those conversations or show that Candace is a fraud. I just hate that Erica has to do any of that crap. Karen
I don't want her
Elliott,
to have to.
right? It's just, I cannot imagine being Erica right now and being like, are you serious? Karen Elliott, to Gen Z, entitlement is not a lifestyle. Yeah. I mean, some of them are soft. That's all. It's just, there's a lot of softness that's happened over the past couple decades. So, okay, we're bringing it in. We're going to bring it in. Corinne's going to bring it in. You get it? Corinne is not like the super huggy type, you guys. She's just
I'm not.
She's not. We're forcing her to do it. So we're hugging Corinne against her will. You guys have a wonderful Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.